Landing back here at the park. Landing right at the park. Sometimes I'll have the crew over there think I'm going to land there and then just decide I'll see if I can get back. And you'll get it. It's pretty interesting. So sometimes I'll beat the crew back to the field. Yep. There's a nest down here. For a long time. They lived over here where the old town hall is. I roofed most of those old original buildings that used to have a roofing company up there for a long time. But where that red roof house is, and then up on the hill to the right, she's got a little riding arena. That's Two Sisters right there. Up to the right of her fence is that little barbecue pit. You see the rooftop? Inside there's original ski school bell they would ring to let them know it's time to meet for ski school. The reason they have that is their father, George Engel, who used to live in that big brown house right there. Actually, the parents, a cat lives in that house right there. But he started ski school as a private business. Actually, I told you how Denver owns Winter Park, about a little over, it's getting to be about 85 years now. They sent a guy named Tom Delaney out to start the ski area. One of the first guys he hired was George. He's one of the first ski patrolmen, had ski school as a private business, had one of the longest running ski shops in the valley. Actually, you go skiing, there's a run in the dive up at both of the races. Yeah, and then here in a minute, you're gonna feel it get cooler actually, because we're dropping down. We've gradually been dropping down, and we've been hitting layers. So even though, like, I'll have a descent going, and then we'll stall, and I won't be burning. We'll just stall because we're hitting colder air, and then it has to cool down to that point before it'll drop in that colder air. And we got a pretty good descent going, so I'll probably have to put a little heat in, but when we hit that low inversion, it should make a bit of a difference. So pretty much, actually, this side of this meadow, all the way to about where that, I don't know if you guys can tell, there's a little road going through the meadow out there. All this land, most of this wooded area where our shadow is over here, is owned by Denver Water Board. They own between 30 and 40% of the land in this county for water rights. Even though we're the wettest county in the state, I told you the Colorado River begins here. Actually, Colorado River provides about 30 million people with water. Half the fruits, nuts, and vegetables grown in the United States gets water from the Colorado River. That being said, the Fraser for over a decade was one of the 10 most endangered rivers in the United States because they pull so much water out of it. And on a bad snow year like last year, and it was so warm, they actually shut down fishing for parts of the day, the warmest parts of the day, to give them a chance. Yampa River over in Steamboat Springs, they actually completely shut it down for about 2 months. Some trails out here. Some of these are dog sled trails, and some of those are the horse sleigh ride trails. And I'm really surprised we haven't seen a dog sled ride out yet. Oh, you did hear them barking? Well, there's actually some over in here where just past our shadow, that little ravine, that's the Dashing Through the Snow sleigh rides also have some dogs. But the Winter Park dog sled team, which is over by the block building over there, they'll have 5 sleds going sometimes, and usually this time of year I'll see them. I've not seen them out once on a flight. Maybe they're starting later. We give them time to warm up or something. You get kind of a cool shadow as we drop down here, and then we'll get down. This is kind of a neat part about ballooning. That's why they often call it a skywalk, the Compulsion Magic Carpet Ride. It's cool to get up high and see stuff, but sometimes it's really neat to get down above the treetops. In the summer, when we're over a body of water, we have enough control. I can touch the bottom of the basket through the water. We call that a splash and dash. So you just make a couple ripples in the water, just enough to make ripples, and then go up, and the basket will drip a little bit. Then of course, I told you how the elk, deer, antelope. What we have in this valley, the herd that we have hang out here most of the summer is a big herd of antelope. But they're gone for the winter too. The moose hang out here for the winter. The most common wildlife we see though in the winter is coyotes and foxes. And maybe out here in the meadow, it's been wind blowing a bit, but you might be able to see some of the tracks where they've walked. And usually when it's soft snow, it's really fun to watch. Actually, we see it on the balloon ride sometimes. The coyotes walk through these meadows. They hear the mice beneath the snow. If it's soft, deep snow, they'll jump up, dive nose down, sometimes disappear underneath the snow, come out with a mouse in their mouth. Otherwise, they'll dig to it. And so you'll see the little tracks where they were, and then you'll see an area where they've pounced, or a big area where they've dug down. And there's some trails right down in here. Feel it get colder?
Yeah.
A little colder, a little bit of wind, and that wind chill makes a huge difference. You actually see these trees right here. These little patches of trees along this ridge, these are clear cuts done about 40 years ago to control mistletoe. So there used to be a little area. Actually, I used to land in these spots 20 years ago, and it was all, yeah, these were seedlings here. And so then people on the highway would be like, oh, you crashed into the trees, because you couldn't see the clear cuts because of all the trees on this ridge. Well, we had a pine beetle come through, kill off most of the trees, or the lodgepole pine anyway. And so that's where Denver Water Board's been cutting around now, clearing out around, creating fire breaks.